Watch me now. Watch me now. Here I go.
Welcome to the first episode of Big Business Energy, and today's guest, I'm super excited. It's me.
And me.
Of course, Hannah, so our studio manager at Lux Studios. I thought what better way to get to know me a little bit more than to put me on the podcast and answer some questions. So I have no idea what these are either, so I'm super excited. But just while we get started, do you just want to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about you before we get into me?
Yeah. I'm Hannah. I'm 23 years old. I'm a nurse, big into the gym, currently studying my PT certs, and I'm a lash tech as well. And I'm the studio manager now here at Lux Studios, which is very exciting. And this is where we are currently recording this podcast. And this setup is so cute. So you need to check it out.
There you go. The sales pitch already coming out.
I know. But that's not what we're here about today. We're here about Jaiden and his story, so you guys can get to know him a bit better. So I thought, what a better way than me to just sit here and talk his ear off.
Can't wait. I mean, like, I never do this. So, like, I'm so out of my comfort zone. I'm very much the opposite. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of just want to be, like, tucked away and just sort of doing my thing in the corner.
Yeah, I said no to that.
Yeah.
It's also my first podcast. I've never actually done one, so
there you go.
It's very exciting. I know how to talk. I've never
it's
been
weird,
on one.
Hey? It's different because you really have to think about what you're going to say, but at the same time, who the fuck cares? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's get straight into it. Jaiden, what do you do for work at the moment?
What do I do for work? Broad question, but I feel at the moment I am the owner of Shareworthy Content Creative Powerhouse, is what we like to say. So we do all sorts of different forms of content, but mainly specialize in social media and then trying to branch out into high-end production. And then also the owner of Lux Studios, so the beautiful studio that we're shooting in. So I got that, and then a couple other projects in the pipeline, but yeah.
Can't disclose them yet, can you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Eventually.
Until they're a little more finalized, but yeah, I'm excited.
Cool. So just a disclaimer, I've only known Jaiden, maybe how long? Just under 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
Years, yeah.
We met at a shoot that my friend recommended me to, and he was my photographer. Amazing photographer. Just another shout out to that.
Thank you.
So I don't know much about what Jaiden's done in the past, any of his jobs or what led him to do any of this. I'm just here now, doing a podcast with you.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, like
exactly.
I don't know. I just sort of keep it on the down low and just sort of do my thing. And if people ask, I'll tell them the sort of trimmed version, but I never go really in depth. So
yeah. So what was your first job?
My very first job was I was a barista at like Gloria Jean's Coffee.
Gloria Jean's?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that was my first ever thing. I was like 14. The minute I literally turned 14 in 9 months. I was the same.
As soon as I turned 14 in 9 months, I'm like, I'm getting a job and I'm getting money.
100%.
Yeah.
And then that was like a family run business, and I just sort of slowly worked my way up into the head barista role there. So
barista.
Not to toot my own horn or anything.
Hey?
I know.
Good skill to have though. Skill.
Yeah, and then that was basically that taking me all through school. And then once I sort of started getting into photography and things like that, which is sort of where it all began, which was like back in school, I was sort of known as the photo guy in school.
Did you do some sort of like photography class? You know how they have like those, is it visual arts or something like that?
No, I wish. So I did a lot of music, and then I did a lot of sports subjects. They were the two main.
You did music at school?
Yeah, so I actually play drums and percussion.
What?
Yeah. So I did that. So I was in like the rock bands at school, the jazz bands.
Oh, that's so cool.
I
was in music, but I didn't play any instruments. I just tried to sing.
Yeah, so yeah, drums was like the main thing. And then when it was like percussion and things as well, which was like next level, like learning how to do like xylophone and timpani and all these like big orchestral instruments.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucked. But
so that's completely different to like content creation, photography, anything like that. That's the complete opposite.
Yeah, I literally thought like that was what I thought I was going to be originally, was like this world-renowned drummer, like for a band. And I thought I was going to like travel the world and yeah.
Do you still have a drum kit?
No, I sold it once I sold my house, yeah.
Oh.
But I know.
Could have had some events here playing your drums.
I know, and the neighbors used to get so pissed off as well.
They would do. I would be that neighbor getting pissed off.
Especially because
move.
like I was a kid and I was also like learning, so at the beginning I would have been so shit as well. Like I felt so bad, but yeah. And then towards the end, I actually got really good, and yeah, I did a bunch of cool gigs that I was able to do throughout Brisbane and Australia, and yeah.
Oh, so you actually like.
Yeah, we did like all these big performances and stuff. Like we did like there was like a James Bond, and a Cirque du Soleil and all these different ones that I was like part of the band for when they came to like Brisbane, which was cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, then that's sort of that avenue. But yeah, I haven't played in so long, so it's probably
a
bit rusty.
Yeah. So, what made you get into photography?
It sounds really, really bad, but chicks, to be honest.
Chicks,
yeah. So I used to do it to get invited to the older kids' parties back in school.
Oh my God, of course.
So I needed like an excuse to get to the older kids' parties for like the year 11 and 12 kids. And so my way in was to be the photographer. And then I'd have all the fucking goss in my grade because I've gone to this party, got all the goss.
Oh my gosh. So you just fell into this really because
basically
you didn't act like this was a strategy plan. It wasn't like your career.
I know. It didn't work out very well either, to be honest.
What did you actually want to do in school? Like what was your career that you thought you would get into or that your dream career was?
Yeah, literally like being a drummer. And that was the full direction I was going down. Like all my subjects were music based. I thought like this is what I was going to do. And then I don't know what it was. When I got to like year 11, year 12-ish, I just sort of fell out of, I don't know, I wouldn't say love with it, but yeah.
Wasn't as passionate anymore?
Yeah. It's
too busy going to parties.
I don't know. Honestly,
as a photographer?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I can't even remember, to be honest, but I just sort of started falling in love with more the behind the scenes aspect of music, and I started doing more of like the production side and the lighting, and then that sort of transferred over into like the photo and video side, and then from there I never looked back.
Yeah, right. Did you ever have to do any sort of certs or anything?
Yeah, which is actually funny enough how I met Samantha Wicks. So
what? How?
Yeah, so way back in like year 11.
Is that how long you've known her?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah. So way back in year 11, I was like, okay, I want to take the photo and video thing a little more seriously. I also aren't the biggest fan of school, so what can I do to get out of school? And they're like, hey, if you do a cert at TAFE, you get to get 1 day of school off every single week.
And you're like, yep,
I was like,
up.
shut up and take my money.
I'll stop going to these parties. I'll just go to this.
Literally. So went there, and then I started meeting all these people who started, were doing like YouTube and everything like that. And Samantha Wicks was in one of the classes there as well, also studying film.
I didn't know that she studied.
Yeah, crazy.
That's
and
so cool.
She's a totally different person back then. Like yeah, both of us, to be honest. So
yeah, right. So you did your certs
then did the cert in year 11 and 12, and then I was like also started getting more into like the business side of things as well, because then I sort of started upselling my photography I was doing at the parties, and I started doing a package deal.
I have a cert now, so
that's it. I started doing.
I can charge more at your parties.
Literally, and when I started, I'm like, wait, you're actually gonna like pay me to do this as well? It was like a real shock, and they're like, yeah, like how much do you want? And I was like, sweet, like. So that was also, so I had that, and then I had the coffee shop.
So this was like your first kind of business then that you started?
Yeah, but if you ask the tax man, like, no.
So legally,
literally, like I had no idea
real,
about.
But
yeah,
it was like it was there.
I mean, if you ask the tax man, absolutely, yeah. There was no cash exchanged in hands at all. But yeah, I guess that you could say that was my first sort of business, and then I was like, okay, I need some extra oomph here to add value to this. So then I was like, I'm going to do photography and magic as a package deal for these parties. Magic.
Sorry?
Yeah, I don't know. It was another little obsession. I feel like this is really portraying me as like some really nerdy kid, but...
I mean, yeah, but like, it's so random. Like, it's just random.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then magic, like...
Yeah, got really into magic. So then I started doing like magic and photography at these parties, and then a drunk audience was always the best kind of audience. So when you're performing these tricks,
they're always gonna laugh or be like really excited,
amazed, and you're like, this is the most basic fucking trick if you knew how it was done, but they were gobsmacked. And yeah, so then I sort of did that for a bit, and yeah.
Did you ever think about going on like a Australia's Got Talent?
No.
That would have been really good for you. You could be like coming out with the drums and
True,
then all of a
true.
sudden just bring out
Transform
some
into
magic trick and then
Here we go.
end it with some photography.
There you go. That's $1 million idea right there.
You could have won that show.
Could've
I
won
used
it.
to watch that. I would have known you back then because I would have been watching the show.
There you go. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that whole journey, and then from there, basically did a diploma in business and everything, which gave me. Originally, I wanted to go and do film at uni, but didn't have the OP points for it because at the time you needed like an OP 4 or 3 or something, which is ridiculous.
Oh, that's stupid.
And I got a
Don't even get me
6 or a
started
7.
on
What did I get? A
OPs.
7. I got a 7. So I couldn't get in. So then I ended up doing a Bachelor of Creative Industries, majoring in creative business and
Oh, did you go to
film.
uni?
Yeah.
This is how much I don't know about you. I'm like, uni? You went to uni?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went to QT. I was there for 6 months. Didn't even touch a camera. And I was like, this fucking sucks because the whole reason is why I wanted to use cameras.
Yeah.
So then I left and went to a private uni in West End, which was like a specialty uni.
Yeah, right. That would have costed you a good buck.
Yeah, that was fun. And then from there, basically all the teachers were like super like in the industry. Like
Oh, okay.
huge directors, like they've got feature films on Stan and all these cool things. So that was really cool to learn. Yeah, and then finished that degree there, and I don't know what to say from there on.
Did you start Shareworthy after you left uni?
Yeah, so
When did you graduate uni?
2019.
Yeah, okay. And then you went into Shareworthy.
Sort of, I guess. There was several things before that, but
Oh,
yeah.
gosh. Of course.
Yeah.
So what were the several things before Shareworthy? Was there another like...
I mean, they were all like
business
photo
avenue?
and videos. They were just all under like different names and for different things. Like originally I was like going to be like, you know, like Metro Mouse and all those sort of party entertainment photographers and stuff. Originally I was going down that
I'm saying
avenue.
yeah as if I know exactly what
Oh,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Yep.
But like the party sort of photographers, originally I was going down that route, but then I kind of found it was all weekend work. I didn't necessarily want to work weekends.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't a lot of money in it either. So I was like, okay, well, this isn't really going to be feasible. And then while I was at uni, I also moved from the coffee shop into retail and started working at a suit store, and which taught me like a lot of like sales skills, and I was really heavy on like
Yeah, okay.
sales training. And that was where I sort of got my first little taste for business.
Yeah.
And then sort of during that time, within the first year, was able to work myself up to like the #1 sales manager in Australia there, which was cool. And that's sort of where I got the bug for business and sales and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, right.
So
That's so
yeah.
interesting. I didn't realize you had like all this stuff before. I'm just like, yeah, Jaiden the photographer. And I didn't realize you went to uni, you've done all this, you used to play the drums and into magic. Like it's so random but so cool, just like so niche.
yeah, it's
Like
definitely
such niche
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
Like so specific, you know?
definitely weird. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't know that now, and I feel like I don't know. It's just
This is why I said we need to talk about this on the podcast because no one knows except for probably Sam because
Yeah.
Sam met you back then.
but it's also like, do people care? Like, you know, like
yes,
who
people are
cares?
going to care. You were going to care?
Who cares? Like, you know, that was
It's
then.
cool though because people will see all these businesses and be like, wow, like how did he do that? Where
Yeah,
did he start? And you're already getting that at the moment.
true,
And like to me, this is also interesting.
true.
So like people that are, you know, there are going to be people that are inspired by you. They can look up to you and be like, wow, like this is what he went through before, you know, he got into this career because no one just falls into this really.
True.
Well, I mean, you went to parties and did photography, but like
Yeah.
you still went down several different avenues before you even got to this point. And now look, you're studying in your own studio that
yeah,
you've built.
yeah.
Like that's pretty crazy. And how
True.
old are you?
25.
Exactly. Like no one, and you said you bought a house at 23. Like I'm 23. I don't have a house, but you've done really well. You should
No,
be
thank
really
you.
proud of yourself.
Thank you.
So exciting. So how long have you been doing Shareworthy for?
Shareworthy would be like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So prior to Shareworthy, I worked for a building company as the marketing manager, and that was like the best opportunity I ever had because
Taught you a lot?
So much, like more than the degree, more than that. Like literally, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have wasted my time going to uni. In my opinion, it didn't really help anything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I felt, you know,
Just giving you a good debt.
yeah, basically, honestly, it was a pretty waste of time. Like if you want to be a Netflix director or like a big feature film director, I feel like that degree is perfect for you. But I wanted to be more the commercial aspect of video the whole time.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't really feasible, but it is what it is. I've done it. It was part of it. But then from there, started working for a building company, became the marketing manager, who the owner of that company is still one of my best friends today. And he's like, I want you to take this opportunity and fucking run with it and just go for gold. And then from there, had so many incredible opportunities of being able to grow social media, how to do a podcast, how to do a TV commercial, how to run radio ads, how to create billboards, what are all the things and requirements to be able to do all those things. And now when anyone comes to Shareworthy and says, hey, we need to do a billboard, or hey, we need to do a TV commercial, what are the requirements? I know how to do all that just because of that opportunity and that experience from that job.
Yeah, it's like you seem to learn a lot of stuff outside of the degree, and you're like, this degree didn't actually teach me anything.
Literally, I'll choose experience over a degree any day.
Yeah, experience is everything. Like even nursing, which is a completely different career, I didn't learn anything until I was actually on the job. Even with placement, because you're not doing it on your own properly, like you just don't learn anything. It all comes from experience, and you just learn so much from different people.
1,000%.
And it's so good that you found someone that was like able to just teach you all this stuff and believed in you as well.
It was great. Like he literally said, like, you know, I'll do whatever you need. You just tell me what to do. And at the time, to be honest, I really didn't have a fucking clue. I was just like, we just need to be active as possible and create cool shit. And he was like, okay. And then from there, it just started growing. And then from where we started, I was there for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. When we started, we had like 3,000 followers and were literally nobody. And by the time we left, they were one of the most followed builders in all of Australia and grew into the top 10 builders in Queensland, just through good marketing and things like that. And
thanks to you, really.
Yeah.
Or your good marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird because it sounds really weird to say that you contributed to something of that magnitude and like I played a small role in that. But looking back on it, it's pretty cool to know that, it was kind of me, like, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So then you got into Shareworthy. So you left that role and then you got into Shareworthy, or is there there's another one, isn't there?
There's another one.
Oh
yeah,
my
there's
God.
one more. So
you've done everything.
Yeah. So from there, he was basically like, look, we get along great and I absolutely love everything we do. But he's like, he basically put it blunt and he's like, you're way too smart and you've got so much more potential like than working for me. Like you're always going to be capped here. You need to go do this on your own. So then I left and went to go start my business. But then that was sort of the oh shit moment of I've just literally quit a job. I have no income now. And now I'm just sitting here with my dick in my hand. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, literally.
Because I have nothing. And I was like, well, I need to create this business. I need to get up and running. So I really underestimated how long all of that would take and how difficult that actually is all to do. So then I was like, I need a job. And then I ended up getting a job for a huge commercial landscape company in the Valley, which was super cool. And then from there, they were in the same building as like a huge production company, which then I met all of them. Got so many opportunities with them to go and shoot for like Mercedes and all these cool brands.
So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, and
You're
then from that,
there.
it's like, you know, the owner of the landscaping company was dating like a Gymshark athlete, and then she needed videos done.
Oh my God, who?
So Meg Sutherland.
Oh, I know Meg Sutherland.
Yeah. And then from there, she was doing Mega Run and all these things,
Yeah.
and started getting more into that fitness realm. And then in the background of that, I was sort of working on Shareworthy the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
Because as much as I love creating videos, landscaping can only be so interesting for so long.
Exactly.
So I think I was there for like 6 months, and then the whole time I was working on Shareworthy. And then the minute I had 2 signed contracts for clients on a retainer, that was more or equivalent to the amount I was making as a full-time salary on thing, I literally handed my resignation in the next day and quit. And then the rest was history from there, basically.
That's so exciting. And so then There's no other business adventures?
Nothing else.
Okay,
from
so
there,
now we're
yeah.
at Shareworthy?
Now we're at Shareworthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shareworthy is obviously your little baby. It's kind
Mhm.
of like your starting point. And then tell us what you did after Shareworthy, what your next business adventure was.
Yeah, so Shareworthy was the main one, and then from there I was always like, I'd love to have a creative space that I could then create all my own things in, create my own personal content for my, whatever it is, future podcasts like this or YouTube videos. So I was like, let's create a studio. I ended up doing a shoot for a client in the space we are in now. And they're like, hey, we're actually moving into a new office space. So we have no one to take over the rent for here. Do you want to have this space? I was like, absolutely. Like, fuck yeah, I'll take this. Like, their terms in terms of the lease and the commitment for this place were really, really good and basically low risk on my end.
So did you already want a studio anyway at the time, or was it kind of like an idea that you had, you just hadn't really gone ahead with it yet, and then this kind of presented an opportunity and you're like, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it?
Exactly. That was exactly it. It was sort of that moment of like, I've got this opportunity. Do I either want to take it and run with it and take the risk, or be like, it could be another year away and I'd still be, I want to start a studio.
And and you'd be thinking, like, when am I going to get the studio? And it's that whole in limbo of, you don't actually know when. You're just like, it'll happen at some point.
Exactly.
But you kind of just put you.
For me, I was like, if I don't do this now, I feel like once I get down the road and I've done it, I'd be like regretting the fact that I didn't do it sooner. So I was like, might as well just get started now. Yes, it's going to be a big upfront cost initially in that. Hopefully you'll see a return on it. And then from there, this is like the stepping stone to then just a bigger vision and a bigger goal, I guess you could say.
Exactly. That's so exciting. See,
yeah.
I did not know all this stuff about you. That's actually so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's blurred lines between all of it, but yeah, that's essentially the story of it all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy, I suppose, right?
Nothing too crazy. You were a drummer. I mean, we could get some drum sets in here. We could pull some pretty cool events with the drum sets.
Oh, absolutely.
Do some magic. We could do a magic show. That can be one of the events
that
I organise.
It would honestly,
it's
been so long since I've done any of that stuff. I'd be terrible. I used to be really good. Like, honestly, people used to be like, there's no way he's that good. And then I'd do a trick and they're like, okay, shut the front door. That was good.
Yeah.
But, then I didn't do it for so long and I'd be shocking now, but yeah.
Yeah. You've obviously got other business ventures ahead of you as well that you'd want to go through with, but you're probably not going to share too much information, are you?
I don't know. I just don't necessarily want to put it out into the world until it's like official.
Yeah.
But
you're always thinking of bigger things and you want more. You don't just stop where you are.
100%.
You're like go. Like you're just like
100%. And
there's
like
a big vision and you're gonna get there, and these are like stepping stones.
Exactly.
Like your several other journeys like that. If you didn't go through all of that, you wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, it's almost borderline like frustrating because I'm just like really impatient and I see the vision of what I want to do and where I want to be, and it's just like I just want to be there already. But
I get like that too.
You got to like go through all of this shit first before you get to that. But I don't know. It's good, but at the same time, like, I'm never like satisfied. I always want more. I feel like I can always do better. Whether it's this podcast, whether it's this studio, whether it's whatever, I'm always the harshest critic on myself. And I'm like, nah, I could have done this better. We should have done this. I could have done that. Like, I don't know. It's
life.
Yeah, it's just me. It's just a frustrating habit, I guess.
Yeah. So why are you starting this podcast? What are you going to be talking about? Are you going to be doing it on your own? Are you getting people in? Like, what do you want to make out of this?
I feel the three main reasons, and as cliche as they sound, the first one was that I just wanted to improve my speaking skills, to be honest. Like, I feel...
This will definitely help me as well.
100%,
after that video we tried to record the other week, that was shocking.
Exactly.
I'm not a very good actor.
Like, I feel networking and being able to hold a conversation and communication is literally a dying art form of today, like, especially with social media and people communicating over online. That being able to communicate is such an important skill, and I feel like if I can do that really effectively and really well with a person or with an audience or whatever it may be, and be able to effectively get across my point, what I'm trying to feel.
And I mean, you're talking to me, but you're comfortable with me talking to me.
Yeah.
Whereas you could get some like big dog come in here,
Yeah.
and then you could go all like a bit nervous. So then you've got your like communication skills on point already because you know how to talk. Like you're already
Exactly.
very good behind a camera.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I feel like, in a way, but I'm never like that. I feel at the end of the day, whether you're the top CEO of a company, an actor, a celebrity, or even heck, the janitor, I don't really care. Like, I feel if you treat me with the same respect, then I'm going to treat you with that same respect.
exactly. And that's how
like,
the world should
we're
be.
people at the end of the day. Like, yeah, we all bleed the same blood. Like,
Exactly.
so I don't know. That's my outlook on it, at least. So I don't care if you've got $100 million to your name or $1.
Exactly right.
But yeah,
That's how the world should be. Unfortunately, it's not.
I know. People
At least
put
there's some good people out there, you know?
yeah, people put these people on a pedestal, and people expect to be put on a pedestal in some form of status if they've had something, and I don't necessarily agree with that. Like,
No.
you know, regardless of your status or money or followers or whatever it may be, like,
Exactly.
you know, just
We're all the same person at the end of the day.
yeah, just be a human, just be down to earth.
Exactly.
Like, how hard is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the story.
The story and the podcast. It's
For me,
exciting.
I guess in terms of the future, going back to that, the goal is I don't necessarily want something that is going to be directly tied to my time.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I want to have multiple businesses and like diversification in my income. So then that way, not saying it does, but if anything ever like COVID or anything, or one business happens to go under or go down, that I've got all these other things to back it up.
Exactly.
And that's the goal. So yeah. And plus I just want to be like well known within my industry.
Well known.
Yeah.
Famous.
I don't necessarily want to be
Famous.
famous, but like I just want to be like respected in my industry for what like people be able to be like, fuck, he is good at marketing, or he is, you know, a good businessman or whatever. Like
Exactly. And
yeah.
people will see that.
So,
Right people see that stuff.
Yeah.
So and you've done so well so far. So I don't doubt you won't make it big.
No, thank you.
And I'm going to be there as well. I would like to be famous too, please.
100%, right?
The famous nurse.
You know, it's funny though. Like I think about that a lot, and it's like, do we actually? I think we all want to be famous until we're actually famous.
Every time I watch a movie, I'm like, I want to be an actress, but my acting skills are shocking. It would not work.
It's
I mean, I
crazy,
could
huh?
probably cry on the spot. That's as much as I got for you, you know? Like,
What about? Would you ever do like reality TV or any of those?
yeah, but a lot of reality TV now is just dating shows.
Yeah, true.
I'd love to go on Big Brother. Watching that growing up, I was like, oh, we should create our own reality show. You've got the skills and the cameras and everything.
So I actually thought about that for a long time. So
And
I
I
actually
could be the producer. I'll be the one. Oh,
I actually wanted to create like my own. I probably shouldn't say that.
yeah, you probably shouldn't spoil this because I don't know about it. You can tell me off the mic.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't hear anything.
But yes, there's yeah, I thought about loads of things like that. But
We should do a commercial advertisement for Golden,
the Golden Circle.
Circle,
Yeah,
and then I can get all the juice in the world.
that's it. Well, I should probably could, because I think they actually are Queensland based. I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd be on the bottom of the
I'll
box.
sort it out. I'll ring them.
Yeah. Set
I'll
up
ring them.
set up a meeting, will you?
Set up a meeting. Get them on the podcast.
Yeah. So, what do we need to do to make Golden Circle the official sponsor of Lux Studio?
Just talk about them.
Unlimited juice.
Yeah, we'll take a photo and I'll post it and just start tagging them. Do they even have an Instagram?
Surely. they will.
Everyone has an Instagram. You need Instagram for business these days.
I agree.
Like, yeah.
I agree. And they're the type of businesses I don't want to work with. If you don't take your marketing seriously, please don't reach out to me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's the story. I feel like I've said that 1,000 times now, but
So we're going to get people on this podcast?
yes. Oh yeah, right. I didn't tell what the fucking podcast is
I know.
about.
You just completely
Yeah, sorry.
180.
So
the
yeah,
point.
big business energy. Oh my goodness.
We're getting
Hello.
Golden Circle representatives on the podcast.
Big Business Energy, the podcast, essentially is A, for me to improve my speaking and communication skills. B, just to meet fucking cool people. I want to meet like-minded people who are into business and things that hopefully that not only you'll be able to take little nuggets of information and knowledge, but me too. Like,
Like,
I want to
nuggets
abuse
now.
that. And also, a network is such a powerful tool. So if you've got a network of incredible people, a bonus.
Exactly.
And then the third one is just to obviously develop my personal branding. I thought it'd be cool to have a longer format thing like this where people can not only see, like, hopefully I've got a little bit of a personality, but I've also, you know, got the knowledge and everything to back it up as well, and just show
Big
people.
personality, not as little. Don't downplay yourself there.
So,
Thank you.
well, yeah, thank you.
He just doesn't like talking about himself.
I actually don't, yeah. I actually fucking hate it.
You've done really well at it though.
I know. Well,
Oh
I'm
man,
like,
I could talk about myself all day. I have to.
I believe you.
So cocky, but like if someone gets me going, I will just talk their ear off, and I don't realize until after.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, oh, I really shouldn't have told them about, you know, what happened when I was like 7. I fell off my bike. Like that wasn't information these people needed to know.
no, but now you know, and
Now
you're
you
welcome
know.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I don't know. Yeah, I've just never been learned that, and I feel, I don't know. I just feel cocky because yeah, some people will be like, "Fuck, how old are you? Like 25, and you've done all of this." But it's like,
yeah, but that's inspiring. I mean, I've already learned so much from you because I obviously didn't get a degree or do any of this as a kid. I mean, I sent you those photos. They're shocking. But I tried to do photography when I was like 16, 17. I had a little Nikon camera. I don't know
This
where
is
that
cute.
camera's gone.
yeah.
Just photos. I thought they looked amazing. And now I look at them, I'm like, oh, God.
I mean, admittingly, even I was the same. Like I remember the first photos, even that I started to do, like where I started getting into portraits. In fact, Kayla was one of the first people that I started doing portraits for. And looking back on them, I was like, what was I thinking? Like even just like skin tones were like pink. I was like, she
was probably like, yeah, these are great.
yeah. And back at the time, that was probably like the style or something, because I was trying to replicate the style that everyone else was doing on Instagram or whatever at the time. But looking back at it, I'm like, this is fucking terrible. Why did I ever think about doing
But
this?
that's like the best thing is that you just learn and you grow from what you've done. No one's ever perfect right from the start.
Yeah.
You know,
very
like
true.
even with like me working for you, I've never run a studio. I've never even been a manager. But, you know, like I'm already learning so much and it can only
good.
grow from here. Like you pick up bits of information from everywhere. Even people just listening to this podcast, they could pick up information from this. Like,
It's true. It's true.
and the people that you're going to interview,
Yeah.
like you're going to learn even more stuff from other people that you don't know.
Exactly.
So it's going to be exciting, I reckon.
Oh, I'm super pumped. So
This makes me want to start a podcast. What are we going to talk about? Me? We're going to talk about me?
do it though. Like seriously. Like that was
Yeah,
my
you
whole
can
thing as well.
You
Like
can interview me next.
that was the whole thing. Is like I was sitting there. Do I start a studio? Do I start my own business? Do I do all this stuff? Like
you just
stop
did it.
fucking talking about it, Jaiden, and
just
just
do
do it.
I'm known for that, man. Before I started doing my PT cert, I was like on it for a year and a half going, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then I just one day was like, you know what? You're doing it. And I just signed up.
Yeah. It's just any of that stuff is like just back yourself 100%.
Exactly. Chase your dreams and don't just
do
hold
it.
off or worry about what other people think about it.
Exactly.
Jaiden didn't care when he was playing the drums and doing magic. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, of course not. I mean, and while all of that was going on, I was literally like doing YouTube as well and doing like these cringiest videos. But to me,
I took all my YouTube videos down. I was so embarrassed.
saying like you cannot find these anymore. They're super cringe.
They're all on private now. I'm like, oh, never again.
Like, and the thing was like at school, like I used to get bullied so much from the older kids, like what are you doing on YouTube? And they'd like send screenshots and put it on these like Facebook pages.
Getting
that
famous,
they'd create.
leave me alone.
And I was like, that's fine. Like you can give me shit, but like I was on a different page of like, you know, if this stuff takes off, and like
Yeah.
I remember.
And now look at you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they're probably still sitting at home. Some of them probably don't even go to work. They probably like a bum.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I
Like
don't
you
want to.
chased your dreams and you didn't care what people thought, and now they can look at you and be like, oh, he is
Exactly.
making it. Like,
I mean, I think the biggest thing was like back then those videos used to be so cringe, but I was like, anyone who watches a video today, like now fucking look how good they are. Like,
yeah.
you know.
Exactly. No one starts off being perfect. And unfortunately, bullying is just such a common thing, especially in school. And even now, like just social online bullying, it's terrible.
Mm.
Like we could post this and someone will be like, oh my God, Hannah's sitting with Jaiden. Like, just for no reason.
It's crazy. Oh, like all sorts of things. Why are you sitting like that? Why are you dressed like this?
And no wonder people don't chase their dreams because, like, this is so off topic now, but it's because they're worried what people are going to think of them.
100%.
And then as soon as any kind of bullying, a lot of people just are like, well, I'm not doing that again. That's too scary.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
I think, like, that's the biggest thing is, like, it's hard because I say it's easier said than done, but try to ignore the noise and just focus on you.
Tunnel vision.
Exactly. If you think this is the path you want to go down and this is the thing that you're passionate about and you want to do,
find people that support you.
Exactly.
Your friendship circle is everything. People you surround yourself with is everything.
1,000%. If you don't have those people, or if you've got friends that are not supporting you and they're giving you shit for this, then you should probably rethink the type of friends that you have.
Exactly.
But that was way off topic. Yeah.
It was off topic, but I feel like that was very inspirational.
That was a motivational snippet we'll be able to snip up and put it on the, you know, the ones with like the captions and like the podcasts.
We'll crop this out. I'm using this for the page.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's not even gonna look like it's part of the podcast. It's just a motivational speech we did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Keen.
How good.
There you are, kids. Hope you learned something. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. And Golden Circle, please sponsor me.
Yeah. How good, right? Cool. All right. Well, is there any other questions you want to know, or like how do you want to sign this off? Oh, other thing as well. If anyone wants to sponsor the podcast as well, any brands or anything like that
Golden
out
Circle, sponsor the podcast.
Hit us up.
We'll talk about you and we'll drink your juice on air.
That's it. Product placements. You know, you might get 10 people to watch this. So
exactly. Instead of this plant, you could have your own plant here. And for anyone that's not watching the video, we have a nice large plant.
I was about to say, I was like,
watch
you're describing
the YouTube videos.
things.
So we can
Yeah.
I've got a Golden Circle, Golden Pash juice.
It's a popper. Don't beat around the bush, Hannah. It's a popper.
Yeah, but if Golden Circle are going to sponsor this, we're going to be really descriptive.
She's a grown 23-year-old woman, and she's having a sippy straw out of her. 23 and a half.
My birthday was 6 months ago that you came to.
That is true. I knew that.
How crazy.
Holy moly, that flew by. Hey.
Yeah.
God damn.
Anyway, there's a big plant in here, but the point of this is if you want any of your products, anything advertised, you can have it right here next to us.
Exactly.
This tree. So they can hear it, the tree.
Okay. Feel better now?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I think we need to sign this off.
I agree.
I need more juice. I've got about 3 of these sitting in my bag.
On that note, so for people wanting to learn more about the tree-loving, juice-loving Hannah over there.
I sound like a hippie now.
Yeah.
I am far from that.
Where can they find you online?
Oh, Lock Studios page.
What are your social channels?
Oh, you can find me there as well. But my Instagram tag is Hannah_DonaldXO. And
you know what? I'm just going to put the links in the description.
You're going to see the links. And TikTok is Hannah_Donald03. And I wasn't born in 03. My birthday's the 3rd of January. That's why I can't get number plates.
Okay. Thank you for that pointless piece of information. I'm so glad you informed us all on that.
Oh.
So if anyone was curious at all of why Hannah's username was with an 03 at the end.
On TikTok specifically.
Now we know. Now we know. And somehow this podcast is completely transformed to Hannah's podcast.
Exactly. I told you I like talking about me. Oh, anyway, Golden Circle is going to be our next sponsor for the next video.
That's it. So
big dreams.
This is basically what to expect for the podcast. So hopefully you enjoyed this. A little bit of banter, a little bit of business, a little bit of get to know.
If anyone wants me to start a podcast, just
ask me. Yeah, 100%.
Let us know.
You should do it, honestly.
I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something.
I feel like
motivational.
I feel like you could do like quite like some like you can be motivational, but I feel like you like the cheeky route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just get that.
I can't be serious the whole time. Yeah. It depends, you know.
Have you watched Jackson's podcast, Shadow Band?
I haven't. I've watched snippets of it on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually watched it. But I should get him to come do a podcast with me.
His podcast is really, really good. Like
I need him to come in and just talk a bunch of
crap.
So
but controversial.
He's also that, but he's also really inspiring. Wait, are we talking about Tippett?
No, not Jackson Tippett.
Oh,
I
we're
was
talking about.
Jackson
I'm getting
O'Doherty.
Jackson Tippett in, but he is hilarious. I've watched his
Yeah.
some of his stuff. Yeah,
I agree.
he's really cool.
I agree. But yes, both. Yes, Jackson Tippett, very inspiring, cool guy. Jackson O'Doherty seems like a very funny, controversial guy. His podcast is fucking controversial as.
Yeah.
And he called it shadow
love
ban
that.
because he literally keeps getting banned from every
Oh my
social
God.
network.
I've been following him for years. That does not surprise me. He
Yeah,
just does
I mean,
whatever he wants.
Literally
and does
says
not
whatever he
give a
wants.
fuck
All of
and
his
just
guests
goes
are
for
like
it.
all of his guests are like porn stars, OnlyFans people. So you
Yeah.
can imagine the topics that he talks about. But
Well, that's good content. People want to
I
hear
was about
about
to say
that stuff.
it gets clicks. Like,
yeah, exactly. So we'll have these people here one day.
Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
I need more juice.
Yeah, I need another coffee.
All right.
But
Are you
anyway,
gonna wrap this up?
thanks for asking me questions.
That's all right. Thanks for talking about yourself, even though you really did not want to do that. But I'm glad we got you in here to do it.
No, yeah, thank you. No, it's good. I feel like people need to know. So
Exactly.
there we go. Make sure
Where can we find you, Jaiden?
if you head over on Instagram, follow the Lux Studios page, follow _shareworthy, and of course myself at Have You Met Jaiden. Make sure you subscribe to this on YouTube, the Big Business Energy podcast, and this will also be available on Spotify. So make sure you head over there and follow that and hit the little notification bell to get notified when we drop a new episode. And other than that, we'll see you on the next episode.
If you do have any questions for Jaiden about business, anything you want to know, let us know, and we'll do another episode, and I can ask you all the questions that people want to know.
Yeah, I feel like a Q&A or something would be like
Yeah.
a cool episode to do.
Just
100%.
anything about business.
Yeah. Bam.
Cool. All right, we'll see you. Well, I won't always be here, unfortunately. But
We'll see you on the next one.
see you in the next one.
Watch me now. Watch me now.